Hello and welcome to the Garden of the Black Roses. This is fan fiction. Dreams of the Undead, Arc 1, Chapter 4, Monday morning. Yugi sighed as the two vampires bit his neck for their daily feed. The entire weekend had been a comedy of errors, from the admission to his grandpa that he had been bitten, to the vampires learning to only take half a pint each to prevent Yugi from collapsing due to low blood pressure. Today was Monday, meaning going to school with two vampires in tow. How was he going to explain this one to his friends? He had taken to wearing darker clothes as the first few attempts of being bitten and then moving around as normal caused the temporary seals on the bite marks to break open. He knew that if they bit him at school, then he would not have the luxury of staying still long enough for the skin to seal completely. After they had their drink, he remained still while the two fussed around their bedroom. Yugi mentally sighed. Yes, he now shared the bedroom and even the same bed as the two vampires. They were determined to return things to how they were 5,000 years ago. But Yugi didn't know if he was really willing to jump into a physical relationship that he had barely even a few days into. Not that the two really gave him much choice. The vampires did promise him something. That they wouldn't pressure him to have sex with them like he used to back in Egypt. The most they talked him into were intense make-out sessions with them, which usually left Yugi both breathless and very hot. Yugi rolled his eyes. He expected, being a descendant of the divine, that he would have a happy life with his friends. Dark creatures just complicate everything. He briefly wondered what his grandma and his dad would say once Grandpa sends his weekly letter to them to update them on how he's going. They will both murder him for allowing vampires to bite him. He was quickly brought to the present by a very rough kiss. A cold hand touched his abdomen, causing him to yelp before the kiss became more intense. Yugi took the tan colouring in his vision to mean it was Atemu who decided now was a good time to kiss him. He waited, not returning the kiss. Returning it, as he found out very quickly, was the same as outright asking for the two vampires to molest him thoroughly. When Atemu moved his kisses down his neck, Yugi glanced up at the clock before mentally sighing. He was in for a long night. The next morning, Yugi battled a yawn as he pulled out his black leather pants, black tank top, and a black leather duster jacket. He picked up his black boots before creeping out of the bedroom where the two vampires still slept. He had to get out of the mansion and at least part way to school before they woke up. "Master Yugi!" He jumped at the sound of the voice before seeing a small shadow fairy pulling on his collar. "Pharaoh, Atemu, and Queen Yami won't be pleased if you left without them this morning. They asked everyone to stop you if you try." "I know, and I'm sorry, Seed," Yugi replied, softly pulling the fairy off his jacket and setting her on the coffee table in the lounge. "I have morning duties, and they both promised me that if I became their donator that they wouldn't impede on my usual day-to-day activities. They have taken my weekend away. Already, I will not allow them continue to break their promise to me." Seed bowed her head. "Would you like me to express your displeasure when they wake up?" "Please do," Yugi said with a nod and a bright smile. "Also, relay to them that I will meet them on the roof at lunch." He fingered his collar. "They will be needing me by then, I'm sure." "As you wish, Master Yugi." It was about half an hour later that both Yami and Atemu awoke from their slumber to find Yugi missing. After a frantic search of the mansion, they received a message that Yugi left for them with Seed. They both sighed and got ready for school. "We did promise," Yami said gently, trying to simmer Atemu's anger down. "And we did eat up his weekend when he normally spends it with his friends. He's probably worried about how he's going to explain his inability to do so without revealing what we are." Yami dried his hair while Atemu took his turn in the shower. He didn't trust Atemu to shower with him when he was angry. "But he's our Heba, our beloved," Atemu bit back. His anger was not dissipating in the slightest. "He shouldn't be worried about others. We are his masters." The warm water heated his skin gently. It helped him keep a tight rein on his emotions. He didn't want to break anything, let alone hurt his queen again. "Not in this current lifetime of his," Yami replied gently. "Yugi is a reincarnation of Heba. He didn't grow up knowing that he has to obey the pharaoh. He grew up in this modern world as a free spirit. We made a promise, and we need to keep it." Yami was getting dressed when Atemu got out of the shower. "You're not hurt by this?" Atemu asked, pinning his partner with a hard stare. "We waited for him for so long, only to be treated like this." "I am, my love," Yami cooed, still attempting to soothe his anger. "But I'm also seeing it from Yugi's point of view. Remember, Atemu? Yugi, not Heba. Reincarnation, not actual." He could feel Atemu starting to come down from his thundercloud. "And we promised Yugi that we would not impede on his life if he became our donator." Yami nodded encouragingly. Atemu looked at his partner thoughtfully. "Then all we need to do is entice him back to remain at our side." "Exactly!" Yami smiled, finally feeling Atemu's anger fully dissipated. Yami and Atemu entered the classroom and were immediately greeted by Yugi's laughter. There was their Amethyst Eye donator, surrounded by his friends and laughing so hard he almost fell off the table he had perched himself on. "You seriously thought I had been kidnapped?" Yugi laughed, taking note of the two vampires that had entered the room and were sitting in his direct line of sight. "I may have been absent all weekend, but even I have some secret places I need to be." "Well, from the looks of this," Joey said, running a hand down Yugi's duster jacket, "wherever you went over the weekend gave you a boost in fashion and a new warped personality." "What are you insinuating, Joey?" Yugi asked, mock hurt at his friend's words. "I thought you always had my side." "You did." "Well, I did," Joey said with a smirk. "For the king of games, you have to admit that gaming is a geek's hobby. But now you look more punk. And that is almost a 360 from what you normally wear." "Point taken," Yugi said, raising his hands in defeat. Yami and Atemu looked shocked. They didn't know about Yugi's title, nor what it entailed. It wasn't something they researched about their little one. "When's the next tournament, Yugi?" Tia asked curiously. "I need to make sure my schedule is open so I can come and cheer you on." Notes of agreement from the others made Yugi laugh a bit. "Next month," Yugi replied softly. "Mokaba told me Kaiba is arranging a tournament that is bigger than Battle City. I haven't spoken to Kaiba yet on the details of the tournament, so I don't know how long it is going to go for. But as the title holder, I have to ensure the title lives on either through me or another." I bet you will keep the title till the day you die, Tristan said with a laugh. You're undefeatable. Every time we think you're screwed, you pull out exactly what you need. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Yugi deadpanned before rolling his eyes. Basically you're saying I'm good at pulling things out of my ass at the last moment. Not at all, Tristan defended, in partial shock that Yugi had even thought of the word ass, let alone actually said it. I just mean that you have enough luck to make the Irish jealous. Yugi's look made Tristan shiver before he quickly changed the topic. You're not going to let us in on your mysterious activities over the weekend? If I said I got bitten, would that get you off my back? Yugi asked curiously. Bitten? Joey asked. By what? Goodness knows, Yugi replied. Something poisonous that gave me a new personality and clothes and then dropped me here to screw with all of your heads. It took his friends a minute before they realized Yugi had just told them they weren't going to learn squat about his weekend. They laughed at his evasiveness and took their seats for the first period. Yugi waved to his friends and promised them that he will catch up with them before the end of lunch, before making his way to the roof. He hadn't taken 3 steps through the door before a pair of hands pinned him to the ground. We've been waiting all day to touch you, Uncle. Etemu purred in Yugi's right ear. You cannot imagine how hungry we were watching you with your friends. But if you want to get back to them before they suspect something, Yami purred in his left ear, then we better make this quick. Yami undid the collar and let it lay beneath Yugi's neck. A quick nod from Etemu and both sank their fangs on either side of his neck, causing Yugi to gasp at the sudden sharpness. He wasn't used to both biting him at the same time. The shock sent his mind into a spin. He curled his hands up to gently touch their backs and stroke them gently. The two licked his neck, and sat down on either side of him as they waited. Was that for my benefit or yours? Yugi asked curiously, as he tried to stay conscious. And please warn me next time when you two do that. My head is spinning. As you wish, Aibo, Yugi replied. The two smirked at each other, not bothering to answer Yugi's first question, as he faded out into darkness. And that's it. I think, note to self, don't have a full vodka munchshake before you record anything. You stumble over your words. But yeah, if you like it, subscribe, leave a comment, anything, I don't mind. But yeah, as always, remember, let your imagination grow wild. Bye for now.